Welcome to the Team Engagement Podcast, where leaders of teams share their insights. We discuss 6 questions in 9 minutes because leaders know how to be concise. Let's go ahead and get started with our guest today. First question, in a few sentences, tell us who you are and what you do.
My name is Mike Jones, and I'm a leader of a pen test company and a former member of Anonymous and a public speaker.
Fantastic. Question number 2, what's the best thing about working with a team?
So what I found is the teams that I've been on, the collaboration and the creativity that comes together on the team that really makes the attitude and the personality of the team is the most interesting for me. I'm always given a different set of people and different personalities, but it all comes together in a creative way.
Oh, I like that. Could not agree more. Question number 3, I hear from other leaders of teams that it can be a challenge to get team members engaged. Tell me your thoughts.
So I can see where they would say that, but I've never had that individual problem. Basically because I look at not only the personalities, but what their motivations are and what their interests are outside of work. And I encourage, progress in every area, not just work.
Great comments. I really like that, especially about not just the workplace environment, but things outside of work, because that's a lot of what motivates all of us. So
Important.
great comments. Question number 4, question number 4, what other piece of advice do you have for leaders of teams?
So everybody learns at a different rate, and everybody learns and picks things up differently. I have Asperger's, so I learn differently than most normal people. And I think it's important for leaders of teams to really get to know the people, not just the workers, but the people and the personality behind it, and figure out what their specific needs are. Because you can't have a successful team without really knowing who your people are down deep. And I find that that's the most functional way to build a team.
Great comments. Could not agree more. Question number 5, what other successful leaders of teams would you like to recognize that have had a positive influence in your life?
Well, every leader I've had has given me something to take away. But I think the leaders that made the biggest impression on my career and my personal life are the ones who allowed me to be myself and encouraged it. There was a long stretch where I wasn't doing exactly things on the legal side, but they still stood behind me and encouraged me to take the right path. And I think that's important to know your people as people and not just employees.
That's a great example of being able to stick with someone even through some challenging times to help them get to a better place, because that's really what a team should be all about. So thank you for sharing that. Last question, tell us about your first job.
My very first job in security was as a DoD contractor, working for USJFCOM in Virginia as an analyst watching IDSs. I think lasted about 6 months before they moved me into the defense cell, where I was doing more of the forensics and password cracking and stuff like that. And again, they encouraged, my desire to be a pen tester. They saw the talent, they recognized the talent, and encouraged it. And that's what a good boss does. Your employees may have a talent that doesn't necessarily fit the role that they're in. But if you encourage that, then they can move up within that company, or else they'll lose that person to another company.
Yep, absolutely true. Well, last question. Tell us, you just answered about the first job. Sorry about that. Mike, thank you so much for being on the podcast today. How can people find you?
I'm on LinkedIn, and I'll send out an email and post the link to the podcast on my LinkedIn. But that's where I spend most of my time. If it's not with that, it's with interviews and podcasts and articles. So
keep it busy.
Reach out.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
That's great. Thank you, Mike. This is Sean Richards with the Team Engagement Podcast, where leaders of teams share their insights. For more ideas, you can go to teamengagementpodcast.com and download our engagement booster tip sheet for more ideas on how to boost engagement at all stages of the employee process. Again, that's teamengagementpodcast.com. Thanks for joining us and have a great day.